I'm Usha Patel, currently serving as Director Academics at IIAD. It has been a pleasure to be part of this forward-thinking institute as a Dean initially and now as a Director Academics here. My proudest moment came unexpectedly when highly competent individuals placed their trust in me and offered me a freedom to paint a blank canvas according to the color of my choice. I was entrusted with the responsibility of establishing academic courses in fashion design, communication design, as well as interior architecture and design, along with common foundation for all these courses. My journey at IIAD has been marked with a steep learning curve with immense satisfaction. Seeing this prestigious institute growing is a pleasure. Meeting with engaging and brilliant individuals who have contributed immensely in the growth of learning and teaching experience is overwhelming experience altogether. Developing new approaches of teaching learning and persuading young teachers and young colleagues to adapt this philosophy of teaching and learning has been an enriching experience altogether. After decades of teaching in the higher education sector, I felt need to experiment with more challenging situation and challenging the traditional teaching methods and systems. Several factors prompted me to do this and reconsider the teaching approaches. I observed that rote learning in school was very prevalent and colleges were becoming very obsolete. With information readily available on internet, the challenge was to transform this available information into knowledge. So the experiment began from there. What is the difference between the information and knowledge? What do you do with the information which it becomes knowledge? Traditional teaching often involves sharing isolated information without integration of it. So making it more difficult for the student to integrate the information and knowledge into the task, whether it is a classroom teaching or learning, or whether it is the industry when they join to perform the task given. So that is how the project-based learning was important. Project-based learning places student at the center of the education system rather than relying solely on the guided information by the expert or teacher. It emphasizes learning through practical experience. Students are encouraged to confront challenges, explore real-world situations, problems, and find a solution to it. It's a part of problem-solving skill set. This approach fosters collaborative learning, enabling students to create knowledge together with the guidance of experts. And it further emphasizes students' experience and through practical learning. Not together, when they create knowledge with the expert, that becomes an applicable knowledge, and that is what we are looking for. Project-based learning also facilitates seamless transition of a student from classroom to the industry when they go. They will not be guided with the individual skill set, but holistically how to look at the problem and also apply the problem-solving tools with it. Design is a journey of challenging and learning and discovery. We all know that. Being a design institute, we know it more than anybody else. In order to keep IIAD in forefront of design education, we must be very careful that we need to continue working closely with the industry, be open to the live project, which is for the classroom and for the masters to be okaying with it. We also need the experts and mentors from the industry to help the classroom projects as well as the doing a good job of a project which is led by the industry expert. Each design department needs to define design not only about its feel and look, but also its functionality, which is extremely important. It's thought, speculation, for the business and enterprises, which remains a core area of learning when you are in the classroom premises. The whole curriculum is designed for practical experience as well as experiential learning. I always believe that learning is mostly achieved and is active learning when you actually do it with your hand and you experience it. The problem has to be a real world problem, and it has to be interconnected with the issues which is really happening in the industry or real world. Learning should be active, engaging, authentic, and most important is it has to be absolutely challenging and dynamic. Through experiential learning, students can reflect critically, analyze, synthesize their learning, and make it their own personal knowledge. They can initiate to take their own decision. They should be also accountable for any kind of result they are born with. Initially, there was no communication design. It was always arts, fine arts. And within fine arts university, applied art was just one department where art and aesthetic played a very important role, and applied art was part of it. So when the branding, advertising, and other kind of illustration began, it was part of fine arts universities. So gradually the demand, the marketability of products and things like that began in a huge way. There was a necessity for the communication design to evolve and happen. So suddenly applied art is still existing in fine art, but also with NID's inception as a design, first ever institute or first ever university or institute of design was NID, which I think was incepted in 1961. Before that, there was nothing called communication design as such. And I think NID started to talk about not art and aesthetics only, design as a core value, where application of aesthetics is just a small part, but communication and relating to branding, advertising, illustration, even animation, film, and whole lot of other design, which was more about critically evaluating the design requirement of the country. And that's how the design happened. It was not part of art and aesthetic, but design was more a problem-solving institute, as to be seen as a problem-solving vocabulary, which developed gradually over the years of time. Aspiring students of design, they come very vague ideas about design. They have no clue what design is all about. They feel if they can sketch well, they can draw well, they can be designer. But it has nothing to do with the skill. Now the skill is available everywhere and anywhere on the internet. You can just apply softwares and use it. But what you have to do, think through, is you have to have a very sharp mind to get to see and sensitive enough to understand what is the problem in the society or culturally, country-wise and globally, and try to address which is situation or issues relevant of the time and space, and tackle that issues as a problem solving and tackling vocabulary which would be used as a design. So for design, it's not only that skill level of hand skill, but it's more cognitive skill, it's more analytical skill, it's more analyzing and be a sensitive person to get the, sort of what are the requirement, what is the urgent need of that some particular issue which needs to have a solution, and identify that.